Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you may be listening. This video is to demonstrate practically, in practical terms, how to extend your on-premises Active Directory to Azure Cloud. So I have demonstrated, I'll be pointing you to the other video. I've demonstrated how to do the same thing for AWS. I will be doing how to do that to extend your Active Directory to other cloud environments in the future. But for this particular demonstration, it is to extend your Active Directory from your on-premises to Azure subscription. That is what this is all about. So this is the architecture to just really kind of show you what we are trying to achieve. So if you just look on the left hand side, you will see a particular company called Company A wants to extend its Active Directory from on-premise to Azure. So they already have this on-premise where they have their data center. This could be a managed data center hosted by a third party, or this could be hosted in one of their facilities, their premises for their use. So, and recently they are migrating some of their workloads to the cloud. And for that to really kind of be very successful, they will need some presence of some of their authentication and some of their workloads in the cloud. And to achieve that, the concept of extension of Active Directory to the cloud is what we are demonstrating to really kind of achieve that. And for one of the reasons for that is number one, it creates some form of high availability just in case the on-premise or one of the on-premise domain controllers goes down. Hopefully, this will be able to take some of the traffic, even if not all, or some of the traffic from the cloud for the users to be able to authenticate through the cloud directly rather than from the on-premise. And the other use case, one of the use cases is now that a lot of people in the year of 2020, due to the coronavirus COVID-19, that is really kind of making a lot of people to be working remotely, working from home, really. So it's difficult for all the traffic to be coming to the on-premise. So one of the ways to provide high availability and some form of redundancy is to kind of split the traffic so that some of the traffic and the authentication requirements will be done directly in the cloud rather than in the on-premise, because the on-premise can actually be saturated depending the kind of concentrator the organization might have for their site-to-site VPN. And to achieve this extension, you can have a site-to-site VPN to achieve that, or you can use the Azure service called Express Route. So Express Route is really a service that goes through the core or the backbone of Azure so that your traffic does not travel through the internet at all. It is secure. It has a lot more bandwidth capacity than the site-to-site VPN will provide you. The site-to-site is also secure, but it has less capacity compared to the express route. But one of the beauty of the site-to-site is that it can be set up within minutes, literally within minutes, irrespective of the situation. But this is assuming, generally speaking, your on-premise already has a site-to-site VPN concentrator in place. So it's easier that way to be very quick, because what you need to do on the Azure side is literally within minutes that can be achieved. So, but if you look at the other company we have here, there are other use cases why you may actually want to have connectivity between company one and company two. Let's even assume they don't have a cloud resource at all, or cloud presence. There could be a site-to-site connectivity between the two of them. But in this case, we are really kind of focusing on the cloud requirement or the cloud use case, where you're integrating your cloud to your physical data center or your traditional data center. That is what we're trying to do. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening, for coming to this channel. to really kind of support us to provide similar content or more content that will be of use to you, that will be of use to your colleagues and your professional colleagues as well. Please do subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much in advance. It will be good if you can, for us and for other people like you, for other people in the IT world, and maybe even people who are just kind of curious about and probably trying to develop interest in IT. Thank you so much in advance. So this will be all the resources we'll be creating to achieving that, and I will be posting the video while I start and launch other windows to start the demonstration. In order to start the demonstration, I've opened my virtual network. I will be creating many of these resources as listed here. So I will be creating a virtual network for the on-premise and another virtual network representing the cloud. And I will be connecting them together using what we call the pairing connection. Then to create other resources like EC2 instances or a virtual machine within the, sorry, not EC2 instances, that's AWS, but virtual machine in the Azure environment. So I'll be using this network security group to achieve that. All right, so I may be pausing from time to time just to be able to move very quickly and to not really kind of get a lot of time spent on the recording. So I'll be pausing from time to time, and I'll show you all the things I've done. So I'll come back in a second. Hello. So while I was on pause, I have created the virtual networks. So I've created this virtual network here. So this is virtual network that I've just created is completely done. I'll be showing you the ones I've created right now. So let's see. So I've created two virtual networks. This is cloud virtual network, on-premise virtual network. So which is for the left and for the right. So I've created the two of them. Then I've also created, so what I need to do in your presence now is to create the pairing between the two of them. So which I'll be doing right away. So I can start from on-prem. So you go to, where is that? Pairings. So I'll be adding the pairing to that. So let's say this is from on-premise to cloud. So let's just call it that, and it allows all this information. The apologies, this is not the focus of the extension, but I'm just kind of using this. If you look at our diagram here, because I'm doing everything in the cloud right now. There is really no physical or traditional data center involved. I'm actually configuring both environments in the cloud, and I'm trying to join them together. So I'm using this VNet pairing. That's what I'm using to do that. So these two buildings are not in this architecture at all. They are in the architecture, but they are not in this lab and this demonstration I'm doing right now. So let's say this is cloud to on-prem. So this is my on-prem VNet, and I'm allowing all this traffic to go through as well. Sorry, I should say cloud. Sorry, cloud VNet. And I should have that. So this only gets done within a few minutes. So I'll move on to another thing. So the other thing now is to show you the NSG, the network security group. Where is that? I think I've done. So I've created the network security group while you are away. So I've created it, you see I've created for port RCMP, port 22, port 80, 43, 443, and 389. We don't really need some of these. Maybe we need the 3389 for our DP, but maybe we need the ping just to make sure we can ping it for connectivity. as well. But these are the real ports and services that are required for the extension. The DNS, the LDAP, and the SMB port, and the Kerberos service as well. Those are the most important ones. And then we need the ephemeral port as well for return traffic of some sort. So if these are not enabled, you may realize that some of your services are not going through or are not being returned. So that's why this is allowed for inbound, right? And these services as well, port 135 to 139, as well as port yeah, this is wrongly described, but thankfully the required port is there. So it's port 636, 873, and 3268. Those are the required ports, as well as this port 123, 464, and 5722. Those are the required ports. So now I need to associate them to the subnet. So once I associate it to the subnet, it it works and takes so that the traffic can flow to the instances or to the VMs that will be creating internally as well. So and it's going to supersede the NSG on the instance on the network card interface. So I need to keep creating them very quickly so that we can move on. So on-prem 2, I really don't need this on-prem 2 subnet, but I just want to demonstrate how you can actually cross uh, join domain join some of your resources. Maybe, like I said, I'm not sure if I mentioned it. So if you just recently acquired an organization, you may just want to directly migrate them from their current environment, their current environment to the new organization that bought an old one. So you may want to do that. That's why I'm just trying to demonstrate and show you how this can be done. Otherwise, you probably don't need this, and I'll be walking you through some of the demonstration. So I'll be pausing again so that I can create all the virtual machines. Some of this takes time, so I'm trying to manage the time of the video recording. So I'll be demonstrating this, and I'll come back in a few minutes. So I just thought to quickly show you this. I think everything went well during the creation, but it came up with this error message when I was creating some of the subnet within the VNet. Hopefully, it's not like a big deal, but we'll find out together if it really messes up with the provisioning I've done before. Otherwise, everything looks okay. Okay, I'll see you shortly. So if we go to our video, sorry, to our PowerPoint here, you will see in this cloud environment, I said we'll be using a Windows Active Directory domain controller or Azure pre-loaded YARS Active Directory. That's what we're trying to do. I did not create this one from the beginning. This is a pre-deployed domain controller that I'll be creating. All I need to do is to add all the services I need onto it. So just to show you how this works, we'll do it together. So I'll be creating it. Hopefully this will be useful for you for other use cases. But I just wanted to create that while you're watching, and I'll go to pause my recording again. So let's just call it cloud win AD. I just call it that. What shall I call it? Cloud win domain controller AD. So sometimes my naming convention. So this is already done for us. I don't need to select it. I'll leave this service that has been pre-populated at this size, and the instance types, I'll leave that. So I'll call this Azure user so that I can access it. So I'll give it a password. I'll give it a password. Then I'll give it a disk. I think I'll leave whatever is positioned there. I'll be deleting this very quickly anyways. So this is going to be in the VNet of the cloud. So network is cloud VNet, right? So I want to put it in the, let's put it in subnet 1, and it has its own predefined. If I want, I can associate this NSD that I described to you earlier on. I can associate it, but I'll leave it on because it has all the relevant information that I want it to have anyway. So I don't need to go to management. I'll just create very quickly, and that's what I just wanted to demonstrate to you. That's what I just want to demonstrate to you. So I'll be pausing and be doing everything in the background, and I'll come back once some of the deployment is ready. Yeah, so that you are aware, I've currently created 3 out of the 4 instances I'm planning to create. I've currently created 3 of them. I'm launching into 2 of them right now to set up some of the resources that we plan to set up as mentioned in the instruction below. So I've already set that up. I've already created 4 of them. I'm currently launching 2 of them so that I can actually configure the DNS, the Active Directory, promote it to a domain controller, and do all the other configurations. So that's what I'll be doing. So I'll be pausing and be coming back in a few seconds or in a few minutes as well. Once I can, then I'll show you all the other steps that needs to be taken to promote to DHCP, to domain controller, and configure the DNS and configure the trust relationship as well. So see you in a few minutes. So if you remember what we said here before, so I've created a Windows server here in the on-premise environment, and I've created a managed or a preloaded YAS Active Directory here. So in the cloud, so in my cloud VNet. So this is it. The 2 of them looks very similar, but they are a bit different. In this case of the on-premise server, it does not have some of the preloaded information, while in the manage or the YAS one, all I need to do is just to promote it to domain controller. So that's all I need to do. But I just wanted to show you that you'll see that promote this server to a domain controller. That's the only thing I need to do on the pre-provisioned or preloaded one, while this is the physical one that I manually created by myself. So I'll be pausing and I'll be creating, or maybe we can do it together. All right, let's do it together. So that once we get to this stage, then we'll now continue on the same level. So I'll be role-based or feature-based installation. So I'll be leaving the default here. I'll be selecting Active Directory Domain Service. I'll be using all the features. When I say all the features, I'm saying all the features that comes with this one, with the Active Directory Domain Service. There are a few features that come with it. So hopefully we'll find out all of them as we go ahead. These are all the features that comes with it. The module for Windows PowerShell, the Active Directory Administrative Center, the command line tool. So, and I'll be installing. So once this installation step finishes, it's going to get to the same level as just needing to promote it. So that's all that is needed. So I'll be pausing the video and I'll be coming back in a few seconds. This only takes like a few minutes, maybe a couple of minutes or so. So I'll be coming back shortly. You're welcome back. So two of them are now on the same level. So all I need to do now is to promote this one, the cloud one, and I can be doing it almost simultaneously. So I can just move this window a bit and promote this one as well, so that we can move relatively quickly, hopefully. So this is the one I call the on-prem. I'll call it on-prem.local. Then I'll call this one cloud.local. So this could be any organization operating in .com, whatever top domain level they may be operating it. So, but I'm using, this is for demo purpose. I'm just using .local to be able to demonstrate it. So I'm using I had a new forest because we're using a forest here. Your case could be using a domain. So it could just be adding it to an existing forest, or it could be just add a domain controller to an existing domain. So it could just be a domain you want to create. So that'll be up to you. But I'm just creating as a forest. And what I need now is I'm just copying a password from my computer just to, and I'll go on, and I'll do the same thing for this. Next. So I'm using exactly the same password just to be able to restore. This is not the topic we are discussing here, how to restore your Active Directory. That's not what we are demonstrating here, but this is what enables you to be able to do that, to be able to safely and securely restore your Active Directory should anything happen. So like I said, I'm trying to configure both of them, managing the time and just kind of making sure I can maximize the time I have for the recording. So this is for the cloud. The on-premise is relatively ahead just because of the way I configured it. I started first with the on-premise side, so that's why it feels like it's ahead. As you can see, this is on-premise VM, this is cloud VM. So I'm installing this, and this is installing all the services that comes with domain controller. It's installing, waiting for DNS installation to finish, while this will take the get to similar stage right now, checking for group policy management console and all the other information that it needs to include. So once this is done, it will reboot itself. Then I will need to pause so that I can log back in and come up with the screen again, launch the screen back up again. Okay, I might as well pause now, and this is the only thing. I just wanted you to see, like, the blue screen to say it will restart pretty soon. You can see that same thing will come up on the other side. So I will pause now and come back once I launch the restarted or the rebooted VMs. So I've just finished restarting these VMs once I installed and promoted them as a domain controller. Now I will be configuring the DNS, and I will be running the IP config and some of the other resources I'll be doing. So let's do that. No, so this is not what I want to do. So I want to configure the DNS. So the DNS I want to configure now is so that the two servers can be intercommunicating between the two of them. So if I quickly went here now, it can be communicating from a domain name perspective. They can ping themselves right now. If I knew the IP address of this, so let me say ipconfig/all. So this is 1.4. So maybe this is, I don't think it will be 1.4. So let's see CMD. So let's see what this one will come. So I just want to minimize this a bit. Let's make it smaller, just tiny bit smaller. I think this may be too small. So what's the IP config? IP config/all. So this is it's 10.1.4. Okay, so in 10.0.1.4, you can see they can ping themselves, ping .192.168.0, that's 0.1.4. They can ping themselves, but if I ask them to ping by their names, ping on-prem.local, for the moment, it can. Oh, sorry, it's pinging itself, sorry. Ping cloud.local, so it can ping it. So if I ask this one to ping itself, ping.cloud.local, it will ping it, I suppose. But if I ask it to ping on-prem.local, it cannot. So that's why I need to activate the DNS. I need to activate the DNS for that purpose. So my DNS, I'll be creating a conditional forwarder to achieve that. So new forwarder. So I'll call it the IP address of this, which is 10.0.1.4 of the, sorry, that's the IP address, yeah, which is fine. I'll copy it. So let me just call it cloud.local, and the IP address is that. So, and with that, I can, how come I have it as 2? Did I tap it 2 times? Let me just delete one, maybe. I don't know what happened. Okay, let me tap it again. Oh, why is it coming up twice? Something is a bit, oh, sorry, the name is not correct. So let me delete, right? So it should be 10.0.1.4. All right, so that looks okay. So if I go here as well, which I should have done, I should create a DNS. So I'm just trying to do all of this within a reasonable time. So created conditional forwarder, I'll call this on-prem.local, and the IP address, as we saw before, is 192.168.1.4 as well. So what you see now, all things being equal, is that I should be able to ping cloud, and cloud should also be able to ping on-premise by their names. Okay, so that is done. So the other thing I need to do now is I need to go into the other VMs that I created. You remember we created 4 VMs. So I need to go into So let me try and minimize these two. I'll minimize them. Then I'll bring this one. I hope I know which one is which. So the way I can know is probably, let me see, uh, 71 is the on-premise, and the 216 is the cloud. Okay, so this is 216. Okay, so what I want to show you now is how can I join these instances to the domains. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. Yeah, I should have done. So I'll lift this up because I cannot do what I said I'll do. So I need to create the trust, and the trust takes a bit of time. So you need to bear with me. So I need to create a trust. If you can see here, where did I write that? Configure the trust. So that's what I need to do right now. So let me create the trust. The trust takes longer than the first one I created. So we need to be very quick. Create a trust, new trust. So we are pointing it towards the cloud as well. Cloud.local, because this is what will allow us to be able. So I'm using the forest trust. I'm using a two-way trust. I'm using a domain only. I'm using forest-wide authentication, and I'm looking for a password to give to it. So I think I've got some password on my desktop that I'm just using for. I just randomly generated some passwords for this purpose. So click next again, and say okay. That's one thing, and I need to do another thing quickly. So the other thing, the thing I need to do on this side is do exactly the same thing. Where is that domain trust? Property trust, new trust, network. So I said this is on-premise now. So on-premise.local. Next, forest level, two ways, domain only, forest wide authentication, and I hope let me make sure I'm clicking on the right. So once this is done, I'll be able to do that. So now what I need to do is I want to make these IP addresses, I want to make them static. IP address. As we said here, you can see is there are DHCP IP addresses now, but I want to make them static. So I'll be doing that very quickly. So the IP address we have here is, if you remember, is 192, where is it again? 192.1.4. So I'll be using this, I'll be making it static. So it's 192.168.1.4, and the subnet mask is that, and the gateway is 192.168.1.1, I believe, as you can see. So I'll be making its own DNS 192.168.1.4. So this is done here, and I'll be doing the same thing for this. I hope I'm doing right. Yeah, I'm on the right track. So I'm doing the same thing for this. Even if I'm not on the right track, it will let me know anyway that this is the domain controller. You can't do that. So I'll be doing this very quickly. So what is if you remember, this is 1.1, this is 1.4, 1.1. So that's what we'll be doing. So 10.0.1.4 255 255 10.1.0.1.1. Then I'll be using itself as its DNS 10.0.1.4. So this is done, and the two of them will be restarted. So that's good. So I can minimize the two of them right now because they are done. So now I can go back to this. What I want to do, I hope I finished I think I did. So what I want to do with this one is I want to try to ping. So I need to ping CMD. So let me launch the CMD here as well. CMD. So all things being equal, so this should be able to ping the 192.168.1.4, and this should be able to ping, I'm pinging the other side, and this one should be able to ping 10.0.1.4. However, I cannot ping the domain name. So if I ask you to ping the NetBIOS name, ping cloud.local, it can't at the moment, and I want it to be able to, so it can't. So if I ask this one to ping on-premise.local, it cannot right now. They can ping themselves. If I ask it to ping on-premise on-prem.local, all things being equal, it should be, or it can't anyway. All right, cool. So if we, to resolve that, so let's change the IP addresses from what they are. So let me ipconfig/all. You can see that is using Azure provided DNS server, and I don't want it to use that ipconfig/all. So it's using this one's provided by Azure, but I want it to use the one that we generated from the domain controllers. So I'll be making it manual as well. So manual will be for this. It will be, so what is, if you remember, its IP address. Its IP address is 192.4 and 2.1, 2.4 and 2.1. So 192.168.2.4. Subnet max is correct. 192.168.2.1, and the DNS will be 192.168.2.4. That's itself. No, that's not itself. That's the other one. So that'll be 168.1.4, and the other one is 10.0.1.4. So I'll be saving this one. So this one should be fine now. So I'll be doing similar things to this one. So it's going to restart itself as well. Well, not restart, reinitiate some information. So what did I say? This one is 2.4 and 2.1. So if I do, where is it again? So if I say, that's 10.0.2.4. I shouldn't have done that. 2.4. So this is 255.255.255. Then I'll use 10.0.1.2.1. That will be the default gateway. Then I'll use the DNS of the VNet domain controller dot 0.1.4, and the one of the on-premise VNet to be the 192.168.1.4. So both of these being done now, what that will mean is with this I will be able to ping. Can I see what the pinging? So let me minimize this a bit. It's a bit big. So if I redo this command line, you see it's giving it something else. So let's ping on-prem, we can ping on-prem. Let's ping cloud, we can ping cloud. So can we do the same thing? Okay, this one is still reloading. So what I need to do now is I actually want to promote this very quickly. I want to promote, okay, this is ready as well. So let's just test this one. So this is ready. So let's see the IP config is updated it. Can it ping itself? Sorry, that's not what I want. Can it ping on-prem? It can ping on-prem, but if you can ping on-prem, then hopefully it should be able to ping itself. So cloud. So this is its own environment. So what we need to do now is to actually now change the domain so that I want to domain join them to the other environment. I could have done it to their environment, but I want to do it to the other environment. So I'm joining this one to, instead of joining it to on-prem.local, which of these being equal should work. Yeah, it works, but I'm not doing that. I'm actually joining it to the cloud.local. Okay, so that should work as well. So I know my username and I know my password. So that should succeed. All things being equal, so that succeeds. And I need to do similar thing on this side as well. So if I join these two on-prem, so let me try to itself first, cloud.local. You'll see this one should almost go through. Once it requests for the password, that means it's gone through. But I want to cross join it. I want to join it across to the other side, so on-prem. So that works as well. So I need to provide the password. Okay, so that succeeds as well. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope this really helps buttress some of the your knowledge. Thank you so much. Do subscribe to this channel. Will be much appreciated so that other people, for other information you may have in the comment, please put it in the comment box and I'll provide other information in the description box below. So your subscription will help us to be able to provide many more content for yourself and for other people in the future. Thank you so much for listening. All right. Thank you. Bye.